Oilers Nation After Dark begins now.
Another game, another crushing defeat for the Edmonton Oilers. You might not believe me, but the Edmonton Oilers were in this hockey game. Stuart Skinner was awesome. Leon Draisaitl was on his A game. I was feeling good. They had momentum in that third period until they didn't, as the Edmonton Oilers lose 3-2 to the New Jersey Devils down at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. The Rock, or something I believe they were calling it. Who cares? Hello and welcome to Oilers Nation After Dark, loser edition. Getting pretty damn good at these lately. I'm your host, Aaron Bordato. ONAD is a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Energy, little low after that one, but you know me, we'll be back at it. The energy in this chat, about as spicy as you would think it would be. We'll kick it off with this one from Wise Kyle. Fire Nobby, you're done. All capitals. Handling that very well, I'm sure. Chemo Man, don't worry. He says fire Jeff Jackson right behind him. Everett Wells. The Oilers couldn't hold a lead as per usual. K. Waddy, the brand of hockey this team now plays is close to unwatchable. What happened to them? Hockey talk forever. If anyone actually thinks that this is a cup year, you need to get your heads out of the sky. I refuse to get my head out of the sky. Cup, yeah, we're still going to believe, but
Cup,
my
yeah.
God, it's getting dark out here in oil country right now. Sadistic Angel, is it okay to cry? I'm so devastated right now. This feels awful. On pre-gaming today, Mr. Burns said, for my mental health, I need an Oilers dub. She wasn't even kidding. And I tell you, I'd second that right now. Matthews in. The fact we lose to the Devils without them having Jack Hughes and Dougie Hamilton is embarrassing. Also, Jonas Siegenthaler, another top four defenseman for the Devils. Like, how do you lose to them? Ryan S. says, rehire Woodcroft. Mackay and Dry, zero energy in the third period. No. They started that third period with so much energy. They were hitting. They had like back-to-back great shifts. Evan Bouchard caps it off with a goal. And then that was pretty much all she wrote for the Edmonton Oilers after that. JHB, this is the most top-heavy version of Edmonton since 2021. Final buzzer. Might be onto something here. Says there were some interesting coaching decisions out there this evening. And this just makes me sad. There's a lot of you that are saying it might not be a cup year anymore. Get that attitude and get it out of here. It's always going to be a cup year. But Kevin is kind of straight to the point here, and he just says this team sucks. Jesse, joke of a team is right. The Doug, the one game stew gives you a great game, and the boys can't back him up. No one on this team can score other than Dry. It's embarrassing. We also took our time to gather our thoughts. Mackay and Dry said, Bordzy's not even showing up anymore. You know I'll be here. We'll get through this together. We've been through worse before. May I remind you, we did the show during 2-9-1. We are still in a playoff spot. We were in that hockey game, and then, as you know I do, when the Edmonton Oilers lose a hockey game, we refer to the deserve to win-o-meter at moneypuck.com. Well, the Edmonton Oilers deserve to win-o-meter is at 60% tonight. So at least you can maybe hold your hat on that. Then finally, we got super chats because win, lose, or draw. You guys are the best people in the world. Reminder, all the super chats in support of the Ben Stilter Foundation. Lance is in, Mr. Positivity, $5. It's not the goaltending. It's not the defense. This team can't score. The team built for offense can't score. Very true, Lance Kane. And then Soggy Corpse is in. That photo is how I feel right now. It is definitely a bit on defense and goalie, but the front end can't keep defaulting to point shots. Use the talent. Cup, yeah, is also in there. As you can tell, the man on your screen and the man echoing with that cup here, because you'll hope we'll never die for the two of us. I'm joined by Nation Dan Gallant, OG of Oilers Nation, king of hockeyfights.com. And like I said there, Dan, the Edmonton Oilers had momentum in this hockey game. They were the better team at points. They came out in that third period like absolute dogs with a W. Quick goal from Evan Bouchard. The ice was tilted. We as fans are sitting there going, oh my God, is this the third period Edmonton Oilers that we all know and love and we've been used to seeing in years past, only to see it slip out of their grasp almost instantaneously? A couple simple plays from the New Jersey Devils, traffic in front, and before you know it, there was the Oilers down a goal with what felt like to me, single digits amount of minutes left in the game, and you're going, holy shit, we might lose this hockey game. Dan, initial vibe check, vibe report, how we doing after that disappointing result in New Jersey?
Well, hey, I want to give a little bit of validation to the chat because that was an absolute onslaught of negativity, and I totally understand and can appreciate where you're coming from. I'm still a person, even after reading all of that, again, honestly, or some honest assessment there, still really feel like there was some things to build off for this team going forward and continuing. It is just absolutely troubling to have them in another third period just seemingly get off the rails, and nobody on that bench really seemed to be able to kind of bring things back and get out of that deer in the headlights kind of look that the rest of the team just seemed to have for the rest of the game. So yeah, frustrating game as a fan base, but we also just have to settle down and remember we're a bit of victims of that February break for the Four Nations, where I know that we've only had 2 wins since then, but that starts to turn into a bit of an eternity when you include the 2-week break that we had there from having any wins or losses at all. So yeah, it's a frustrating night to be an Oilers fan again, and we've watched the scoreboard as well. Vegas winning tonight against Columbus, and you got the Kings to wait to see what happens there.
Yeah, that Pacific Division dream is starting to feel just like that. A dream, because the Vegas Golden Knights don't look like they're giving that up anytime soon. Some people in here, where's this one I just saw from Colton? We are so past the build-off stage. That's okay at game 17, not with 17 games left. And I think that's where a lot of this frustration sets in. Everybody is aware teams, good teams, great teams, cup contending teams all go through tough stretches during the NHL season, but they don't necessarily go on for this long. And the fact that the trade deadline has now just passed for the Edmonton Oilers, all the answers, all the solutions have to come from in-house. You mentioned there, third period, kind of lifeless, low energy from the Edmonton Oilers. And really does feel like when Chris Knoblauch decides to go nuclear, the rest of that lineup, I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if it's a straight up lack of skill thing. I don't think it's that. We've seen this team and these very players be productive before, but kind of feels like everybody turns into passenger mode and watches 97 and 29 and says, well, I'm going to get a great seat on the bench here, so let's see what those boys can end up doing. Once again, Chris Knoblauch, the blender will never not be a topic of conversation here in Edmonton. Took about exactly the halfway point before he said, no, Jeff Skinner, that's enough of you playing in the top 6. We're going to move you down. But I think obviously a big story in this game and going into this game, Dan, it was one for me specifically was Oilers goaltending, and one, Stuart Skinner. How is he going to bounce back? How is he going to respond? I was very dejected after the Buffalo Sabres game, and I thought for much of this hockey game, Stuart Skinner was damn good in this one from start to maybe not the very finish, but he was consistent, man. He handled the first wave from the New Jersey Devils to start off that game. The Edmonton Oilers, one area was in my key to victory is be smart with the puck management. Oil immediately, before even shot out of the gate, were turning pucks over left, right, and center, but Stuart Skinner found a way to stand tall. In the first period, the Oilers take 2 minor penalties, and it's both Stu and the penalty kill, because the PK looked incredible this evening against the 4th-ranked New Jersey Devils power play. But Stu, he was the best penalty killer out there as well. And then as the game goes along, he made some crazy saves, specifically off the rush, 2-on-1 with Eric Holla. He robs his ass. There's one that was a tic-tac-toe right in front of his net. He robs that one as well. Obviously, the end of the game doesn't go great. Once again, you look at the box score and see 18 saves on 21 shots for Stuart Skinner, because come the third period, bang, bang, 2 goals in the back of the net in what, a 2.5-minute span. Both of them kind of felt like mirror images of one another there. Traffic in front, Stuart Skinner didn't see the puck on either one of them. You can be upset with that one if you want. To me, this game is not on Stuart Skinner. But Dan, I'm curious, your thoughts, your feelings. You were one Tuesday morning. I was down on Stu. You brought me back to life, and you said, Aaron, there's plenty of reason to believe Stuart Skinner bounces back more often than not. I do think, regardless of the .857 save percentage that you'll see in the box score, Stu was considerably better than that.
Well, I do agree, and I've been on this show a few times this year and defended Stuart Skinner, but I do want to give a little bit of credit to the rest of the team as well. I think that his defense in front of him was blocking a hell of a lot of shots. I know that shot total is down low, and then you start to say, well, okay, they blocked a lot of shots. They also blocked his view on 2 of the 3 goals from being able to see them at all. So there is some work to be done still with this defense, and again, the defense is broken up. We talked about it ahead of the game here, pre-gaming with you, about the loss of Ekholm and the jostling around that's done to the lineup as well. So there's still some stuff to be worked on. Want to definitely give credit to the team defense coming around. But again, yeah, Stuart Skinner played well in spots tonight. It's just this team. We often talk about how we need that save, and this team tends to rally around those saves when you get them, just the same way as this team seems to fall apart when you don't get those saves and when things aren't going their way. We said it in our group chat. It felt like, oh God, no, in that moment. And it was truly, oh God, no.
I believe my exact words in that chat were, oh God, no. As you've seen this movie before, you know it's going to end. I will say, I'll stand on this. Stuart Skinner did make the save at least once or twice in this hockey game. There was the one where I believe it was the first goal the Oilers scored. Maybe it was. Yeah. But Stuart Skinner has a huge save on the other side of the ice. Play goes back the other way, ends up the Oilers scoring. But once again, people, I can't shit on your frustration with Stuart Skinner, because as somebody says in here, Joel, stats don't lie. That is now another game here. I believe that's 6 of his last 7 that Stuart Skinner is below a .900 save percentage. But team in front of him there, especially the end of the game. I got a text from other producer Brett Holden on, I think it was the third one, the one where Brett Kulak was in front of the net battling per se with the screener in front. And Brett said, what was Kulak doing? Was he looking for a kiss? You can tell Brett has been hating on my Oilers defenseman, but yeah, it just wasn't ideal. But from the get-go, Dan, and it's something you mentioned there, and it's something we'll talk about later in the good, bad, and oily, but the Edmonton Oilers, I felt like the give a shit meter was definitely ratcheted up in this hockey game. It was something we both asked for earlier on pre-gaming. The physicality was there. The want and the need was there. The Edmonton Oilers on the evening finished with 17 total block shots. They had 20 hits on the evening and just felt like they were kind of going the extra mile. They were committed to getting into shooting lanes. A lot of specific players, Darnell Nurse, Jake Wallman. Fortunately, not Brett Kulak as much as I would have liked to be eating some pucks in this hockey game, but dudes were willing to sacrifice the body, and I think everybody knew team defense, goaltending, they go hand in hand, and both of them lately had not been good enough, had not been supplying enough for the Edmonton Oilers, at least to start this hockey game. The Oilers defense, and it includes forwards as well, man. There was one play when Leon Draisaitl ended up drawing the interference penalty. He backchecked so hard across the entire sheet of ice to then inevitably draw a penalty. That's not physically blocking shots, but I felt like the Oilers were going the extra mile.
100%, and I think that we talked about it in the pregame as well about the need to be a little bit more protective of the puck. And I think that there was an element of tonight where the Oilers defense and team defense was able to cover up for some of their giveaways and some of the issues that they are having in their own end. And that's going to just be important for this team going forward, because give away the puck in your own zone, you're challenging Stuart Skinner to do more than you should be asking of any goaltender with a good team like this. So yeah, I mean, tonight, wonderful to see some buy-in, at least from the team. Again, I think I would have liked to have seen more physicality. We saw it at the very start of the game. They came out with some pop, and then you saw them come out in the third period with a little bit of it. you need to see more of that consistently from this team to be able to keep them engaged in the game. It just seems like it helps with the physicality, and then it would have helped against a team like New Jersey tonight.
Yeah, I felt also just kind of mentioning it's been an issue lately. It's turning the puck over, whether it's in the defensive zone, the neutral zone, or the offensive zone. The Oilers, I believe, finished on the evening. They had 16 giveaways. So that's slightly better than the 25v5 that they had Monday against the Buffalo Sabres, but simply just not good enough once again. There's a lot of discussion here, Dan, about the line blender. Here's final buzzer. Line blender gone awry. Carey, major line juggling. No consistency. No faith in players outside of McDry. And I mean, one of the big things we were talking about coming into this game was Jeff Skinner finally getting a top 6 shot with the Edmonton Oilers. I shouldn't say finally, but they've been very few and far between this year. And he did get that opportunity for about half of the game. And then it felt like after that, we didn't see much of Jeff Skinner. Obviously, they take Draisaitl, swap with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, so it's Nuge centering Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson. I don't know, man. You just feel for the guy. You look through the depth chart here for the Edmonton Oilers. The only player to play less than Jeff Skinner, and you made the joke to me during the group chat tonight, is Max Jones, who played 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Jeff Skinner, 10 minutes and 10 seconds. Dan, if I was an odds maker or a bookmaker, I'd be terrible at my job because I set the line pregame today, believing in this second line, thinking they were going to get something done. I said, does Jeff Skinner play over or under 14 minutes? You took the over. Most people in this chat were smashing the over on that, saying, no, this is one. The Oilers, they're lacking offensive chemistry. They're lacking shots. Another game. You don't deserve to win. You score 2 goals on the evening. Jeff Skinner, noted goal scorer, noted guy who loves to rip the puck. So were you surprised at all when about the halfway point we saw things were switched up and Jeff Skinner was not getting much ice time out there? It's a frustrating situation right now. It's nothing new, and I put it on us for ever thinking he'd get more than 14 minutes. We were talking crazy.
Well, I mean, there's definitely an amount of, we are definitely rosy colored when it comes to Jeff Skinner this season. I was on Oilersnation radio predictions as saying that he was going to have 70 points this season. For me, yeah, I reached my boiling point about 3 games ago when Knobloch goes back to the nuclear deterrent. We talked about it on the pregame show, how, you know, how can you expect any of these guys to have any kind of consistency? And I'm not defending the game that Jeff Skinner had tonight. I'm not defending the game that Victor Arvidsson had tonight. I'm not defending the game that any of the wingers had tonight, because it was just another game of confusion. But for me, it's I don't know. I can't imagine for these players trying to create some consistency together as line mates, and you go from with Arvidsson and Skinner going from Leon Draisaitl as their centerman to Adam Henrique, who is, you know, AWOL this year and completely, you know, there's so many question marks with this lineup, so many question marks with this offense that you just, like, I'm frustrated that the coach always goes back to the same answer for the solution to every problem. But at the same time, can you blame him? Because they're the only guys that are getting offense going and the only guys that are putting the puck in the back of the net. And at the end of the day, Knobloch wants to be a head coach that wins hockey games. So outscoring the other team, it's the goal. And I don't know, like, I understand the frustration. I understand the exasperation, but I also, you know, why is Corey Perry out there in the last minute of the game? I just, like, love the guy to death. He's got a lot of offense going this year. And again, I guess what else can you put out there? But maybe Savoy is an option to get him back in the lineup. I don't know. We're just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall here and seeing what sticks.
It's an incredibly polarizing discussion. Jeff Skinner's in, says, I can't stand Nobby anymore. Sadistic Angel, let's not bash Nobby. Because, right, let's remember, way more so last season than this season, Nobby had the pulse of this team on his wristwatch, man. He knew everything. He was pulling the strings in every which way correctly. It was hashtag in Nobby we trust. And then, to be fully transparent and just fair in this situation, he decides to go nuclear it takes a minute or two before Leon Draisaitl scores the first goal of the game for the Edmonton Oilers. So he is semi-justified in his decision-making to do so. I just think at this point in the season, we've got 18, 17, whatever it is, games left, that Nobby, I need you to give more of a consistent run to these other guys. We've seen what going nuclear does and how it kind of subtracts from the rest of the offense. You need to go to your stars when you need a goal, but it's frustrating for guys like a Jeff Skinner or anybody else in that bottom six, because you're being asked to produce and get this team offensively out of a slump, but you're being asked to do it at a fraction of the ice time as other guys. And in a Jeff Skinner, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins case, I'd argue Jeff Skinner's doing just as much, if not more, than Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in way less of a fraction of ice time. But I don't know, dude. I don't coach the Edmonton Oilers, and this is a very murky, dark situation right now. You can feel the tension in the chat right now. Like, I'm at home all by myself and I'm scared to tiptoe around. I'm just going to be quiet before I go to bed to not start any fights. But let's just relive it all. Let's do it all over again with the Greta scoring summary, brought to you by Greta Bar Yeg, my favorite spot in the city. And we will be there, probably doing this show in exactly 24 hours live from Greta, because tomorrow it's flight night, people. That's right. Get a $10 ticket at nationgear.ca. These are still available, people. If you don't have Friday night plans, you want to watch the Oiler game, maybe you'll even be in this chat during the game. Well, dude, come on down, boys and girls. Everybody's invited. Come on down to Greta Bar Yeg, and you, for the price of a $10 ticket, which is also a donation to the Ben Stelter Foundation, get entered into a raffle draw, that at the end of the night, one lucky winner is walking away with a trip for themselves and a friend to On the Nation vacation, headed to Viva Las Vegas at the end of the month when the Oilers take on the Vegas Golden Knights. The importance of that game is dwindling by the day, but with the LA Kings hot on the Edmonton Oilers' ass, every game simply matters, and we're going to be watching that one from the Stella Artois Bougie Lounge up top, not press box. I was about to say, not that bougie, but it's going to be a great time. Get your tickets, nationgear.ca, to come to flight night and win your trip. And then if that doesn't work, also go to nationgear.ca and you can just buy your way on the Nation vacation like I have to do, like a regular Joe. I'm not allowed to win that contest. But as I said, Dan, I think a lot of Bordzy's boys are coming to Greta tomorrow because they heard $10 trip to Vegas. They'll be there because they're a group of, well, I'd say smart individuals, but that honestly might be a lie.
Well, if our future winner is watching, feel free to reach out to me for all kinds of tips about Vegas. I can drone on for hours and hours, but I do want to make sure that we don't miss a couple of super chats, Bordzy, that we've been seeing in the chat messaging there.
All right, so where did I leave off with? We got $19.99 from our boy Bashin1266. I still believe it's a cup, yeah. But boys, the league has figured us out. Every loss feels the same. Frustrate us for half a period, then just cover the McDry line, since the rest of the team can't score. I'd argue that's always been the method of beating the Edmonton Oilers, and that's much easier said than done. But yes, lately. But once again, the Edmonton Oilers, there's some self-inflicted wounds out there, and just what feels like to me a lack of confidence when it comes to offensive scoring. I'll say it again. I'll probably say it more times. You scored 2 goals against the Buffalo Sabres and 2 goals against the New Jersey Devils. You're not supposed to win hockey games when you're doing that. Mistaken Mexican, $5. Anyone have Mike Smith's number? Good question. Need him to teach Stu to get mean. Hack some legs when people are in your crease. Cup year, question mark? No, it's cup year. And if anybody does have Mike Smith's number, maybe don't throw it in the chat, but DM Mistaken Mexican and let him know. Rusty's in. Maybe some positivity here. $10. I'm not going to live and die by every game. It sucks to lose, but I still have full confidence that this team will figure it out. They'll be absolutely buzzing in the playoffs. Cup year.
Cup year.
Ben Bosch is in. No, he's got the sad Kenny Banya face. Says still frowny. Damn it. Told Cup year. That's a person on ONE. I'd be in for $20 if Stu played great. New Jersey without Hughes or Hamilton, ? The injured Devils, ? Those sandal-wearing goldfish tenders. Nice reference. Still shouting, Cup, yeah. Stick taps for Ben, and he's also got some dogs. So, those are the only barks you're getting from me tonight. Then Mackay and Dry, 279. I need to get Mackay and Just Die, Cup year ? Hey, now, I agree with the first part. I don't agree with the second part. But, yeah, we need to all de-stress a little bit after whatever that was in the third period for the Edmonton Oilers. Okay, now the greatest scoring summary. It starts off Brett Pesce, third goal of the season, and it's the Devils winning a draw. Goes back 2-1. Jesper Bratt here for a clapper as he opens up to it. Set play. Gets redirected in front. Stuart Skinner does, I believe, make the first save, but he can't locate the rebound. Eric Holla is banging there in front. I don't know if he passed it over, kicked it over, whatever he did, but Brett Pesce is in the right spot at the right time, and there he is, able to bury that rebound with a sprawling Stuart Skinner. Beats him glove side. It's Pesce's third of the season, but Dan, off the draw, tough one. Set play from the Devils.
Yeah, you see it from the Devils on almost every goal tonight, where it feels like it was set up and it worked out just the way that they had kind of planned it out. That was a quick tic-tac-toe kind of play. Stuart Skinner has a great save, makes a great save there, and there's just nobody that is ready for that rebound more than Pesce is himself.
And once again, rebound control. Obviously, I see some people in here. Another rough rebound. Stu almost got this one, though, right? We're obviously going to think back to Monday. Tage Thompson, the first goal he scores. This one, at least I'm more tolerant of, I guess, whatever you say, because he makes that tough save. It's off a draw. It's Jesper Bratt ripping that puck. It did get deflected beforehand, and he made that save. He almost makes the second save there as well. But once again, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Shout out to all the old people that have taught me that expression. Shout out. Then it's Leon Draisaitl scoring his 47th, I repeat, 47th goddamn goal this season. It's just a beautiful thing. On the other end, Stuart Skinner made a huge blocker save, and then the puck goes down the other way. McDavid, he forces a turnover in the Devils' end, immediately puts that boy on Leon Draisaitl's stick, and why wouldn't you? He goes top shelf over Jake Allen for, I'll say it again, his 47th goal of the season, assisted by Connor McDavid and Brett Kulak, my boy. But Daniel, when you're hot, you're hot. Leon Draisaitl continues now his 16-game point streak, career high for him. I believe he has 24 points over the 16-game streak. Either way, you put Leon with that much time and space in front of any goalie, he's going over your shoulder. He's going to score that.
Well, and I feel if we ever had an opportunity to talk to Knobloch, there's no way he's going to take time to speak to me. But if we ever did, he'd be pointing at this play like, hey, this is why I put them out there, you idiot. And you know what? Fair enough. Great play by the top line there, just buzzing. And Leon Draisaitl, what more can you say at this point? If he was Austin Matthews, we would be hearing nothing but Leon Draisaitl news, but he doesn't play in Toronto, so we'll settle for the end of the year talk when we're done and said and done with this cup. Yeah.
Instead, he's in pole position for second place in the Hart Trophy race, which is absolute bullshit if you ask me. But that might be because I own a Leon MVP plus 450 ticket, courtesy of our friends from Bet365. Then, third period, I mentioned it, the Oilers. Momentum all on their side. Ice completely tilted in their favor. Shift after shift after shift, getting in physically on the forecheck, pumping shots on net. Dan, one of my many points I was making on pregame and today is that when you're not scoring goals, holy shit, sometimes just throw the puck on net and something good is going to happen. You gotta be simple. Keep it simple, stupid. That's not a shot at Evan Bouchard, but he throws the puck on net here from the points. Just lightly, getting it on net, being smart with it. And shout out Jake Allen for this one, because I still don't really understand how he allowed this one to beat him glove side. There was both, I think, Draisaitl and Zach Hyman had their sticks out trying to redirect the puck. So yes, if you're Jake Allen, you're thinking, okay, it might get redirected. The puck, in fact, does not, and he has a clear line of sight the entire way. But this is one we needed to see for Evan Bouchard. Also helped cash my shot prop for Evan Bouchard. Dan, can't score if you don't shoot, brother.
100%. And I feel for Bouchard that it is just, we are coming into his form right now. You are going to start to see his minutes be taken down a little bit, and we're going to be beneficiaries of that. I want to give credit to Zach Hyman there too. This was a game of screens, and he was in Allen's kitchen that whole play, and not a single soul even came near to touching him. So yes, he was able to see the puck at the last second there, but Hyman's hijinks in front of the net made it so that Bouchard's seeing eye shot didn't have to have any mustard on it at all. That was a raw dog of a shot.
Hyman's hijinks, what an alliteration. And then you throw in a little raw dog at the end. Daniel, god damn, brother.
Hey, they called me a grandpa in the chat. I had to try and step up my game.
That was Evan Bouchard's 13th goal of the season. Connor McDavid gets an assist. So does Jake Wallman. McDavid, 2 apples. So the Oilers do have a lead in this hockey game in the third period. Unfortunately, that did not last very long, as Jesper Bratt would score his 19th goal of the season. This dude was all over the ice in this hockey game. I tell you, I didn't like it. He keeps the play alive. You'll see it ringing around with speed in the offensive zone, gets to the middle of the ice. Not from that dangerous of an area, but with that many bodies in front, with that much traffic in front, he just throws it on net. Stuart Skinner never sees this puck at any point. You can see it from his reaction. He had no idea where it was. And Daniel, before you know it, that comes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds after the Oilers take the lead. So they had some momentum in here, kind of just sucked the energy out for the Oilers. And then this building from here on out, it was the Devils building. It already was, but it continued to be.
One of those plays where the Oilers definitely needed to get the puck out of the zone, between the defense and the offense there. That many guys being trapped down low, and you're still unable to get the puck away from your own defensive zone. Not a great look. The Devils just, again, it feels like they've got some set plays here, and the traffic in front of the net was maddening. And I agree with the commenters that are saying, why aren't you getting some lumber on those guys, making it uncomfortable for them and more uncomfortable for them in the front than it was.
That's where we said a very good effort from Stuart Skinner that falls apart at the end, because once again, you can go either way on the discussion. That's why we have a chat. That's why we do what we do, but wasn't able to see either of those last 2 pucks that beat him. And then that's all she wrote. Let's relive the other one. It's Simon Nemich's first goal of the season, comes 8:25 into the third period, would end up being the game-winning goal. And there's Jesper Bratt again involved in this one. They play give and go from the point. Is this the, yeah, here it is. Yeah, nice. So they're going to do a little give and go. Nemec over to Bratt, back over to Nemec. He rips that one from the point. That beats Skinner very, very cleanly. A beautiful Nico Hischier screen right in front. I believe this is the one where Skinner, he's peeking left. That puck ends up on the right side. Never saw it. Tough one. They kind of give us a little bit of hope, the commentators, Jack and Louis did, making us question, could there be goaltender interference? No, that's just a perfect, flawless screen in front of the net from Nico Hischier. Simon Nemec's first of the season. Daniel, that sucked.
Yeah, you live by the sword and you die by the sword. That looks like a team on defense that is trying to block every puck that they can get their eyes on. And frankly, you're giving Stuart Skinner absolutely no chance to see either of those point shots. If either of those defensemen or guys at the point there had shot the puck, I don't know if Skinner is going to be able to get an eye on it before it gets to the net. So yeah, frustrating one again to just have so much traffic in front of Skinner. But I guess you do have to live and die by the sword. We loved the block shots. We loved seeing the commitment from the team there. Just didn't have it on that play. And after that, the sales were just something was just taken out of that team. And again, the confusion just sets in. They pan across the bench and it just looks listless. There's just not a fire right now, not a spark of somebody that's just saying, you know what, on my back, let's go. Other than, Leon Draisaitl, who just continues to score for us. But what more can that guy do for us than we just need some of this top or this bottom 9 talent to come through in the pinch for us.
2 words for you. Trent Frederick, baby. Bring me that spark. Be that energy. Be that beast. But that's a lot to ask of one man who will be coming off injury and stepping into a new team. But damn it, running out of options over here, Daniel, of what I can ask for. Also, I don't want to say stupidest comment of the day award, but I'll say most ridiculous comment of the day award. Ryonius 456. They are going to miss the playoffs. All right, everybody, let's just settle down just a little bit out here. Everything is still positive. Oilers are still, as of this moment, in the 2 seed in the Pacific Division. I don't want to say anything because I'll have to knock on wood after I do it, but everybody, RELAX, the Oilers will find a way. Don't make me tap the sign again, Dan. The deserve to win-o-meter, 60% for the Edmonton Oilers. I'm getting awfully good at this loser talk stuff lately, more than I'd like to admit, but the Oilers would lose 3-2 to the New Jersey Devils. Stuart Skinner, 19 saves on 22 shots for an 864 now. Stat correction, we're going back up with the save percentage, while Jake Allen makes 31 stops on 33 shots for a 939. Let's go now to the good, the bad, and the oily, brought to you by Oodle Noodle. Download the Oodle Noodle app today, and you, that's right, you, the viewer, could get 1,500 customer loyalty points. That's $15 in real value solely for signing up on the app. You can get it at the Google Play Store or the App Store. And while you're there, Pat, show it to them because they got a dynamic duo of their own. You like Connor and Leon? Well, how about Bombay butter chicken? Pat, I saw you had it there. There it is. With the green onion cake. Bang. Shout out to those two. $17.95 in store only. So you can't, I guess, do the app for that one. But people, Bombay butter chicken at Oodle Noodle. It's insane. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. I'm going to eat my feelings away, Daniel. Should we order some Oodle Noodle after this? Maybe we'll do it live on the show. But let's kick it off. The good, I see some people in here throwing some other options. I don't know how I feel about our good tonight, so I'll let you guys be the judge of it. Hit it, Patrick, because we went with Stuart Skinner. Once again, you're going to see 864 save percentage with Stuart Skinner. You're going to see 3 goals allowed. You might think differently, but I don't, damn it. I thought Stuart Skinner was very, very good in this hockey game. We asked for a bounce-back hockey game. We got it for 48 minutes of this hockey game, I will say, and I understand, dude, that's loser talk. It's something like a pigeon out here right now, dude. He was very good for most of it. For most of the pucks that he could see, he was able to stop, but I understand you can't necessarily be good or the great when you have an 864. I thought those two made the big saves when you needed them to make it, robbing Eric Holla on a 2-on-1. There was 3 separate power plays there for the New Jersey Devils. Stuart Skinner stood tall on a number of them with a number of high danger chances. Stuart Skinner was good. The other thing I think that we could have went with as well could be the PK. But once again, Stuart Skinner was the best penalty killer for the Edmonton Oilers.
I think it's important to note it is the good, not great, not excellent. It is just the good of this hockey game. And there was a lot of hate in the chat earlier. And I know, as you mentioned, it's been a tough slog for you, Aaron, personally on this show with all the feedback that Stuart Skinner gets. And we just, giving a peek behind the curtain to the viewers, we do feel for these guys personally, and we take it very personally when they get attacked. The alter egos in the chat notwithstanding, but I mean, to me, a guy that we asked of him to make us some saves that keep us in the game, and he absolutely did that in the second period alone. So good is Stuart Skinner.
Sean's in. He just says no, not good enough.
Feedback. Great insight. Yeah, thank you for that.
That's kind of it. And once again, like the last show we did, Sean, I basically went on that rant for about 2.5 minutes straight. When you do it for all 82 games, like Dan kind of mentioned there, we know what we know here about Stuart Skinner, and he's been in a rough patch here lately. This was one of his better performances. Whether you'd like to admit that or not, I'm going to give that the good. But then the excellent really could have been the PK. Now, I did say Stuart Skinner, the best penalty killer out there, but the Devils go 0-for-3. They had the 4th-ranked power play in the National Hockey League, and the Oilers didn't really give him much, dude. There was, I think, 2 out of the 3 power plays where the Devils didn't even have like puck possession until over a minute into said power play. So I do think the Oilers, down a man, they were very good tonight, and we will go with that. With good comes bad. In the bad, we went with the blown lead. Obviously, you have a 1-goal lead in the third period. I thought it was amazing the Oilers were able to beat Jake Allen because he seemed pretty dialed in this hockey game. Once again, the Oilers struggling with those damn posts, those crossbars. Evan Bouchard rung the puck off one earlier in this game as well. But you have a lead. With the way the Oilers' decor looks, or at least how bad they needed to win, and the give a shit factor, the meter that they were showing in this hockey game, I felt confident up a goal when, okay, we're about to play some boring ass hockey for the next 15 minutes in this hockey game. It's time to lock it down, glassing out, dump and chase. Don't do anything exciting, and you'd see more of the bottom six guys play. Well, unfortunately, that isn't how this hockey game goes. Allows some traffic in front, not able to clear the front of the net. Before you know it, bang, bang. The Oilers are down a goal. Once again, looking for offense, which lately for the Oil, that ain't been coming very easily. So the bad, the horrible, the blown lead, Daniel.
Yeah, and I mean, for this team is built for offense, and it's, to me, it is inexcusable to not have the New Jersey Devils just absolutely on their heels for at least, bless you, by the way, at least 70% of the way towards the end of the game. But you didn't even feel it in the last 2 minutes of the offense there, that the Oilers really had much going outside of, I think it was like 2 rushes where they had some sustained pressure, and then a last ditch effort right at the end of the game, but much too little, much too late. Just cannot have the lack of energy, the lack of, like you said, give a shit value that it just isn't there. And you need to have the bottom 9 figure it out and take that next step to be the guys that are like, you know what, enough is enough. It can't just be all on 29 and 97 the whole time.
Yeah. Also, shout out to you guys in the chat. McKine Dry, bless you, Bordzy. Lordsy, bless
You are
Bordzy.
so good looking.
Very mannerly chat we've got here. Win, lose, or draw. There's a lot of bad, right? Bad from Bella. I don't know. Feels like everything right now. Yep, pretty accurate with that. Bad. Quote, we suck again. I'm not going far. I'm not going that far, but it's not good right now. Final buzzer, bad. Third line to Doug, bad. My mental health. Jeff Skinner, bad as the coaching decisions. Well, there's a lot of stuff there. Get in line, I'd say, for the bad on this one. The Oily, however, and this is positive, it was the block shots tonight from the Edmonton Oilers. They were, in my opinion, committed to helping out their struggling goaltender. Stuart Skinner, yes, he stood on his own. He made a number of big saves, but everybody in front of him was committed to getting in those shooting lanes, getting active sticks in passing lanes, people going the extra mile. The give a shit meter ramped all the way up here. The Edmonton Oilers on the evening, right? They finished with 16 block shots, that right? But it was even more than just the block shots. I thought it was them taking the body, as you mentioned, to start the game. It was nice to see. Once again, I guess it'll probably be a good segue to get into right after this, because there's one guy who decided not to get into the block shots chaos today, and damn it, brother, I need you to step on that. But Daniel, the Oily, guys getting in lanes, guys getting in effort, they were committed to helping their goalie.
100%. And that's the thing for this team. And I think that this team needs to be able to establish going forward is just team commitment to the defensive end of the hockey, of the arena. And this team just has not had a consistent amount of it for throughout the whole year. Jeff Skinner has been the victim of a lot of healthy dashes because of that lack of just give a shit in your own defensive end. You saw it from him tonight. I believe that the moment that he found himself riding the pine was around that frustration he had early on in the game, where just got kind of murked by a guy and it just kind of caught him off glance or out of sorts. But yeah, just great to see from this team, starting to see that team defense building around and getting some structure in their own end to be able to cover up for some of the gaffes, some of the giveaways that they have themselves.
Also Oily would be Chris, and from Facebook, are you talking about me or Dan? Big white hat is not a good look. He looks like a train conductor. Why is his hat so big? Why is no one talking about that? Because the Edmonton Oilers just lost a hockey game. Also, I would say, Dan, your hat is the old Oilers logo, correct?
It's the Los Petrolos logo from earlier this season.
Yeah, and mine is Edmonton written upside down. So you better like both of those hats. Also, Shout out unparalleledw.com. That's where you can buy these hats. You guys always ask. Use promo code Bordzy10. Influencer Bordzy over here. You damn right, people. But Oily, both of our white hats, because they don't look like train conductors. Thank you very much, Chris. Okay, he says Dan. He said Dan's hat.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate it.
He can go for you, but I don't want him to go for me. I'm too sensitive, but okay, I can take that.
Hey, Ringo Starr was my favorite train conductor of all time. Shout out Shining Time Station.
Shout out. Let's go now to the Boom and the Doom performers of the evening, brought to you by Odd Company Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for game day, perfect for every day of the week. Pick them up 2 Odd Company locations in the Edmonton area, downtown or Ritchie, or just head to liquorconnect.com. Find out which local liquor stores are carrying these bad boys. All right, throw in your booms, throw in your dooms. Kind of few and far between in this game. Daniel, you are my guest. You know me. You're Mannerly. I'm Mannerly. You blessed me earlier. I'll bless you. You can go first. Who gets the boom tonight?
I'm going to give it out to one Vasily Podkolzin. I think that he had a quietly good game. I know he's a guy that probably doesn't need to be up on in the top 6 anytime soon, but for a guy that had a demotion in the lineup to get 5 hits on the night, in a night where I asked for physicality, I'm going to give it to Vasily Podkolzin, and he gets 5 booms. Boom. Boom. Sorry, I can't. I'm a grandpa. I don't.
Boom! Sorry about your friend, buddy. Yeah, Vasily Podkolzin, I got to say, it's kind of tough, dude, because Vasily Podkolzin does almost everything right. You know what I mean? The effort's there. The physicality's there. The hunger's there. The speed's there. The size is there. The hands just never quite made it to Vasily Podkolzin, I think. I mean, once again, he's an NHL player, former first rounder. He's got hands, but there's a situation in this game, that third line early in the first period. Him, Rico, and Connor Brown, they force a turnover. They cause a chance in the offensive zone. He's bearing down on the goaltender one-on-one. And he just fires it right into Jake Allen's chest, right into the logo. And you're like, Pods, I love you. And you got in that position based solely off effort. So I appreciate you. I just think that's why. And the experiment's gone on very long. Leon Draisaitl, he gets final say who he wants on his wing. But I think those are the reasons why Vasily Podkolzin through and through is a 4th-line grinder in the NHL, because he does all those things good. And any offensive bonus you get, it's just that. It is a bonus. Some people in the chat, and I think I'm going to agree with him, because he hasn't got many booms so far this year. But Evan Boomshard, Minecraft says Boosh, he's heating up. Bosch also said Wallman, Mackay and Dry, the Boosh bomber. Yeah, it's been a tough year for Evan Bouchard. He's getting dragged online, left, right, and center. Rightfully so. Do not get me wrong. But we're all hoping, speaking into existence, that this can be where he starts to turn up a little bit. And in that effort, he did cash me a shot prop bet in this game earlier. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Leon Draisaitl in this hockey game, because Leon Draisaitl just continues to be the driver of the Edmonton Oilers offense. He's the most consistent player the entire season. He's done it all year long. They lean on him for sparks, and he can do it almost single-handedly. Like in the first period, it was one of those, boys, hop on my back, and I'm going to get this done for me. He just walked around Luke Hughes. He made him take one wrong step and went, you reach, I teach. And he drives him wide around to the net. Now, he doesn't score, but Leon was all over the place. He's so subtly, and Dan, I think you meant this when you put it in our chat. Leon's addicted to knocking the stick out of the opposition's hands. Whenever he can get a moment to do so, he does it, and he does it so smoothly. I love it. It's just such a rat move to do. It's awesome and would be so frustrating, but when he does his one-handed moves with the puck, I always say it's like Shell. If he's pressing X down low, protecting puck, you're simply not going to get that puck from Leon Draisaitl. And once again, 16-game point streak, career high for Leon Draisaitl, 47 goals on the season. That gets a big fat boom. Now, boom. Daniel, give me a doom.
Well, hey, I was going to give it to one Connor Brown, because I just genuinely cannot believe that guy had 2 20-goal seasons in his life in the NHL. But it seems like I'm picking on him because to me it is the wingers of this team right now that are absolutely falling apart and just cannot seem to kind of find just cannot find any footing there. But my real doom is going to go out to the chat tonight for how angry it's been and just how gloomy it's been. I totally get it. I understand it. But I've also been just this week in our Tuesday meeting, I gave a special shout out to the group chat or the chat that you guys have created here on the After Dark show, especially between you and Brett Kulak, or sorry, between you and Brett on the bet between Brett Kulak and Ty Emberson. Just absolutely love the chat, love the people that are the community that you guys have been able to grow here. So I'm going to give my doom out to the doom chat tonight, just for being a little bit maybe gloomier than I've seen in a while.
Hey, I can never give this chat the doom because, as you just mentioned, I feel like I've just made hundreds of new friends night in, night out. It's fantastic. Another reason why you all should be getting your ass down to Greta tomorrow or March 29th when what chaos comes to town. But the chat, they can't get a doom because I see it in front of me. We've already raised $112.17 for the Ben Stelter Foundation tonight. Hands are tied, Daniel. The chat is the MVP. They get a big fat boom from me night in, night out. Now my doom. there's a joke in here that you wouldn't necessarily get, but they do. But Connor Brown says I'm wearing the jeans. It's an inside joke now, but imagine we've been giving out the jeans award, which means who was the player who looked like they were wearing jeans underneath their equipment the entire game.
Jason Strudwick Award.
I don't know what I would go for here. What could get a doom for me? I mean, the easiest cop-out I can go with would be Max Jones because I didn't even notice that he played in this hockey game. Not to any of his fault. He played 4 minutes and 45 seconds. He also got it felt like, unfairly blamed for the too many men call because Leon Draisaitl, in fact, wasn't stepping on the ice fast enough. I don't know. We've been more than negative enough. Maybe save me of this. I don't want to give doom. Maybe Jake Allen as well, because he was pretty good in this hockey game as well. That'll do it for booms and for dooms. And now let's go to Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365, because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, use the promo code NATION at Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win is a barn burner. Every face-off, hat trick, power play, shot on goal, penalty shot, and every suspenseful minute in between is amazing. They're an official partner of the NHL. Download the app. Use the code NATION. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly and only bet what you are willing to lose. So there you see it on your screen what we went with for the bankroll this evening. First option, we went Leon over 2.5 shots, Allen goal. Cha-ching for that one. I want to hear the sound. There's the sound. Hell yeah, producer Pat doing a great job behind the scenes. Leon Draisaitl finishes with an even 3 shots on goal. So that one, we shout out to Leon. 24 minutes, 48 seconds time on ice. The next one we go to was a Boosh shot prop. And that one, bang, he also cashed on that. Not only did he get 3 shots, he didn't just get 4. He got 5 shots on goal on the evening and 1 big important goal for his 13th of the season. That's where Bordzy's Bankroll ends today. Thank you very much, because we don't need to see, just do it, Pat. A big fat red X up there for Victor Arvidsson with that horrible Family Feud-like sound. Oh, just makes me shiver. I knew it was crazy to go for an RV. Obviously, it was plus 175 for 1+ point. Hand up on me for being stupid and thinking that second line would consistently stick together. Honorable mention was a Jeff Skinner anytime goal. I didn't put it on here. I still responsibly just did a little bit of sprinkle on there as well. Unfortunately, that one did not happen. Daniel, did you end up wagering on Jeff Skinner first goal?
I did. I sure did. I also did do my teasing of Leon and Wallman shots. Leon, I had him at 4, and Wallman, I had him at 3. So I missed on Leon's, but I hit on Wallman shots.
Well, Well, I think Jake Wellman had a pretty damn good hockey game throughout this one,
He
stats
did.
wise, because I know my boy Brett, we're always talking block shots, and Jake Wellman had 3 block shots in this hockey game. So actually, before we get into the tattoo bet, and let me show you the updated scoreboard, I do want to give a shout out to Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because this ad read I can do in my sleep. Only the finest tasting meat products earn that sweet, sweet Will Hawk name, made from 100% pure Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size. You can find their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc location. And for more information, head to willhawkbeefjerky.com to get yo jerky on. So if you're new here, by the end of the month, Brett and I will have 3 new tattoo ideas apiece, 3 that I am okay with permanently putting on my body for the rest of my life, and 3 that he will do the same. We're going to do it at the end of March. So that means we got a solid 2 or so weeks that we can bring it up in the chat. We might end up allowing them to vote on the 3. They're 3 that we are chill with. And then the goal still is to get tattooed live on Pre-Gaming with Bordzy for game 1 of the NHL playoffs. But apparently, if you ask that other guy in the chat, being a negative Nancy, the Oilers aren't making the playoffs. I kid. I love you. I appreciate you. Throw it on your courtesy like. But they got to make the playoffs. Otherwise, this tattoo bet will never really have an opportunity to happen. I mentioned it, the Oilers, a lot of guys blocking shots in this hockey game, but unfortunately, it was only one of the 2. Ty Emerson closing the gap a little bit. It is now a 5 block shot lead in favor of me and Brett Kulak. Kulak, he had 0 on the evening tonight. He did play 20 minutes and 27 seconds, only 1 shot, no blocks, no hits. And then Ty Emerson, this is the thing that I know Brett was very scared of. So Kulak played 20-27. Ty Emerson played 11 minutes and 15 seconds. He did get 1 block shot on the evening, so he does reduce that gap to 5, but that's a gap of 9 minutes of time on ice. Once again, that's never over until it's over. We saw Brett Kulak had 8 block shots in 1 single game. Ty Emerson could maybe not easily, but very possibly do the exact same thing. So this one, we're going to be riding until game 82 of the season. I will never be comfortable in this one. And I've also thought up two very hilarious ideas for tattoos, but I'm not going to share until the end of the month.
Well, hey, I'm still vouching for face tattoo. I think that's the angle we should be going with this. I also think that Greta would love to have you guys getting your one of you getting your tattoo live there on scene.
So that was the one question I had, right? Is I was like, can we do it at Greta? I'm sure they'd be very chill with it. I mean, I've done much worse things in that bar than getting tattooed in there. Believe me. Shout out Greta. I appreciate you. They asked myself a couple times, but would it be more sanitary? It's probably not sanitary to get tattooed in a bar. Hey, but once again,
if there's going to be a cleaner place in the world than a restaurant, you tell me.
I was about to say the studio at the office, but when I think about the amount of dudes that hang out in that room nonstop, day in after day in,
no,
probably at about the same level of germs. So either way, we're getting tattooed game 1 of the NHL playoffs live on Pre-Gaming with Bordzy. Okay, I think that should do it for us this evening. Once again, tomorrow, Oilers Nation every day going live, 12:01 Mountain Standard Time. I would believe that we should be having one Jason Demers on the program, but if you're a loyal Oilers Nation everyday viewer, you'd know Jason Demers flies by the seat of his pants. He joins the show whenever he wants to join the show. He'll just send a text randomly and say, link me. And I go, okay, shit, I just got to send him an email, I guess. You never know where he's going to join, when he's going to join. So that adds to the fun tomorrow on ONE, talking about another Edmonton Oilers loss, another game where they only scored 2 goals, and another game where, once again, I'm not putting the game on him. I thought he was good, but another game where the Oilers goaltender has a sub 900 save percentage. I love you all. Dan, I appreciate you very much. I haven't looked outside my windows all night long. Has it been snowing?
It has been snowing a little bit, but I do want to apologize. I feel really bad to the chat calling them dooms. I regret my decision. I hope that nobody took that too personally, except for that asshole that said I look like a fucking conductor. That's on you.
You have to deal with the consequences, Dan. The chat can never stay mad at you because I can never stay mad at you. I love you. I appreciate you. Everyone in the chat as well. Producer Pat behind the scenes always does a bang up job. Intern Reese also back there as well. Shout out you. And our sponsors, Greta Bar Yegg, Oodle Noodle, Odd Company Brewing, Bet365, Wilhawk Beef Jerky. Come to Flight Night. Come on the nation vacation if you missed the raffle for Flight Night. And then, actually, Pat, we got it here too. I believe it's March 29th. The What Chaos boys are coming to Greta as well. March 27th, sorry. My mistake. March 29th is the BOA, which I think will also be at an establishment for that one. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But the What Chaos boys coming to Edmonton. Tickets are $15 at nationgear.ca. There's going to be a meet and greet. We're doing pre-gaming with What Chaos. Worlds crossing over. Can you believe it? It's going to be an awesome time. And of course, there's no better place that we do it than Greta Bar downtown Edmonton. Go to nationgear.ca. Get your tickets for all these events and all these things I've been talking about. And we can become best friends and start to hang out way more often. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Throw down your courtesy like on the way out. And sleep tight. Try and forget about the Edmonton Oilers. Good night, everybody.